It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Respect yourself and others will respect you. To see what is right and not do it is the want of courage. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Wheresoever you go, go with all your heart. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon and star. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. The superior man is distressed by his want of ability. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. To know what you know and what you do not know, that is true knowledge. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. The journey with 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. If you look into your own heart and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his actions. Give instructions only to those people who seek knowledge after they have discovered their ignorance. Hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. An oppressive government is more to be feared than a tiger. When a person should be spoken with, and you don't speak with them, you lose that person. When a person shouldn't be spoken with, and you speak to them, you waste your words. The superior man is aware of righteousness. The inferior man is aware of advantage. You cannot open a book without learning something. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. Forget injuries. Never forget kindnesses. He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Polar Star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it. If one learns from others but does not reflect, one will be puzzled. If one reflects but does not learn from others, one will be in peril. Men's natures are alike. It is their habits that carry them far apart. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? A youth, when at home, should be filial, and abroad, respectful to his elders. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Study the past if you would define the future. The superior man does not mind being in office. All he minds about is whether he has qualities that entitle him to be in office. He who wishes to secure the good of others has already secured his own. He who will not economize will have to agonize. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. It is not possible for one to teach others who cannot teach his own family. The superior man is firm in the right way, and not merely firm. When a man is not in the habit of thinking, he gets into the habit of obeying. To love a thing means wanting it to live. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. Isn't it a pleasure to study and practice what you have learned? Virtue is more to man than either water or fire. Humility is the solid foundation of all the virtues. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. It is easy to hate, and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. If you don't know how to live, why wonder about death? The firm, the enduring, the simple, and the modest are near to virtue. He who learns but does not practice is like a man who plows but does not sow. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. When you see a worthy person, endeavor to emulate them. When you see an unworthy person, then examine your inner self. Sincerity is the way of heaven. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. He who chases two rabbits catches neither. Faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. Virtuous people often revenge themselves for the constraints to which they submit by the boredom which they inspire. A man is great not because he hasn't failed. A man is great because failure hasn't stopped him. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. He who acts with a constant view to his own advantage will be much murmured against. Do not plan the policies of an office you do not hold. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. To put the world in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. If you try to do too much, you will not achieve anything. Heaven means to be one with God. Without knowing the force of words, it is impossible to know men. The superior man is always modest and humble in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. The essence of knowledge is having it to apply it, not having it to confess your ignorance. He who requires much from himself and little from others will keep himself from being the object of resentment. Recompense injury with justice, and recompense kindness with kindness. Study the past if you would divine the future. The object of the superior man is truth. Heaven is the author of the virtue that is in me. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the three universally recognized moral qualities of men. All people are the same, only their habits differ.